Today on Locked On Rockies, for the first time in 2025 and since September, the Colorado Rockies have won back-to-back ball games.
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast for today, the second day of May in the year 2025. I'm your host of the Locked On Rockies podcast, Paul Holden, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team every day. And if your team is the Colorado Rockies, guess what? You're in the right spot, because that's what we do around here each and every day. Free and streaming on your favorite streaming services and on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel, where you can be part of the show. You can fire off your Rockies hot takes. You can let me know what's on your mind when it comes to the Colorado Rockies. We will be diving into 2 wins for the Rockies, because we didn't break down the win against the Braves as well. We'll talk about all of the streaks the Rockies broke yesterday while finally forming I guess you need one more for it to be an official winning streak. But when we're with the way this season's gone for the Rockies, back-to-back wins for the first time is a good thing. And you know what was a good sign too about these games was close games as well. You know, the Rockies needed to bounce back in these games. The Rockies needed to be a team that could that could navigate and go through a game where, okay, again, the offense isn't breaking out, it's not doing huge stuff, but you got to go and you win back. Not only do you win back-to-back ball games, it's back-to-back one-run ball games. And we've talked about it before here. The Rockies have a lot of pretty close losses throughout this season in terms of one-run games. If you flip the script on one-run games for the Rockies, they would have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. Let's see if I'm missing anything else. 4. I don't think I am. No, here we go. 5. If you flip the script for the Rockies for their one-run losses, they'd have 5 more wins on the season, and they'd be in the double digits. This is a good thing that this team was able to do something they haven't been able to do so far: win the close ball game. The other wins that they've had, I mean, they've gotten close. There was some fireworks there. I think it actually may even closer to 6 wins there. Sorry, it's my math, and sometimes when I'm scrolling. Regardless, they have not won the one-run ball game very often this year, and to do it back-to-back times against good pitchers. I know it's the older Verlander, and I know Sale. It's just weird times for the Braves right now, but when you're talking about the Colorado Rockies going up against Justin Verlander and Chris Sale, and the Rockies come out on top on both of those games, that's a darn good thing, especially when you're talking about going up against Justin Verlander in San Francisco. Not only are there, with the Rockies being horrendous on the road, but San Francisco in general has been a nightmare for the Rockies for so long. There are a bunch of streaks that the Rockies broke yesterday here that I want to bring up from Skylar Timmons here on Purple Row. Rockies 4, Giants 3, breaking streaks. Let's see. The victory was notable in the fact that it snapped a 13-game losing streak on the road for the Rockies, but it was a rare win on the road in San Francisco as they snapped a 12-game losing streak in San Francisco. It was the first time since July 7th, 2023, that they carried a lead late in the game and actually held it. Additionally, the Rockies became the lowest win percentage team with consecutive wins against former Cy Young winners. It just shows you how weird baseball can be, right? I mean, or how it shakes out. Again, when you're talking on paper here, there's no way that you sat there and thought that the Rockies, for their first back-to-back wins of the season, would come against talent like that, against pitchers like that. When you're thinking about that, it's okay. Here comes Sale to mow down 17. Didn't he have 17 strikeouts against the Rockies back in Boston or something like that? And Verlander's one of the best to ever do it. So it was just like you kind of roll your eyes and buckle up over the last 2 games. But the Rockies come out and show you something. And it's highlighted, yesterday it was highlighted by nice, good, timely hitting from the right guys here, including Ryan McMahon finally breaking out of his 0 for 35 streak. Not only the longest of his career, but the longest hitless streak in franchise history, which is a different story there as well. But 400 feet, dead center field, breaks the snap, and then breaks the streak, gets the Rockies within one, and then the Rockies are able to get after, are able to go out there and do damage against a very good Giants bullpen to get the job done. Here's more from Skyler. Following McMahon's home run, the Rockies managed to get after Camilo Duvall, who typically pitches in the ninth. Brenton Doyle had a one-out knock and stole second base, coming around to score on a Jordan Beck double to tie the game 3-3. Hunter Goodman then laced a single to right field to score Beck and give the Rockies the lead. The Rockies ended up going 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position while striking out just 6 times and drawing a pair of walks. And Skyler doesn't want us to forget about Alan Trejo, who had a good game yesterday. He went 2 for 4 in the game, coming around to score his team's first run in the third after he doubled. He did hit the ball very well. He got robbed on a play on a huge catch from Yastrzemski in right field. Skyler mentioning that here as well. And this was a big play. And I think this is the interesting thing too here as we're navigating what's going to be going on here. I think we probably should be seeing Hunter Goodman behind the dish a little bit more. We know that's his comfort zone. We know that that's where he likes to play the most. And when he's able to have a big impact like he did, pulling off he threw out Brett Wisely at second base, and massive. It was the first game really. You had your doubts, obviously, when the Rockies were losing in San Francisco to start. Like, right, it was meaning like, okay, beating Chris Sale in a pitcher's duel and having Chase Verlander out-duel Chris Sale was fun. It's back to reality here. It's back to the typical Rockies, the Rockies experience that we know and love. But instead, they put together a full baseball game. And that's something we haven't seen a lot from this team. Every aspect of the team showed up. We had Kyle Freeland, who had a history-making start there. We had who pitched well. The bullpen comes up and backs up, including Agnos coming in and getting the save in a huge situation as he continues to start showing and demonstrating that he's ready for the major leagues through his call up here. He's shown that, hey, we can do some damage here out of the bullpen, and mixed with the fact that, again, this bullpen has been a pretty good spot here for the Rockies of late. And Angel Shavii only had 1 hit over 1 1/3, and then Scott Alexander 2 1/3, and then Zach Agnos, second big league save in back-to-back days. Had his first one there against the Braves, and then comes back in there and slams the door shut for the Rockies to get their second win in a row, up to 6-25 here. I mean, now it's time to go streaking. I mean, if you're the Rockies, you're eyeballing, you're eyeballing your first series split, possibly of the season. If you can win this, if you win at least one more in the series, and if you can pull off 2 more, you're going to get your first series win of the season, because it's going to be, you've already set yourself off on the right path. Now it's the goal for this, after finally stringing together 2 wins. You have to start figuring out how to start making that more of the norm. And maybe it doesn't need to go out. They don't need to go and rip off a 10-gamer right here, which would be great. Don't, of course, who would say no to a 10-game winning streak here? But it's just, hey, all right, good solid stretch, and just make it so, we've talked before, just don't go on the long, painful stretches. If you can just kind of get back into the ebb and flow, the natural up and down of the game and of the season, you don't go on these 8, 7, 6-game losing streaks, it just makes it a little bit more easier on you. But last night, the Rockies hopefully exercised a lot of demons. But for the first time this season, this team has been able to put a confident footing underneath themselves. Ryan McMahon gets to go into this game here, the next game against the Giants, and he doesn't have the franchise worst hitless streak hanging above his head anymore. The Rockies can go into this game and saying, we got a 2-game winning streak. We've been starting to put things together. The pieces of the offense are starting to heat up. We're getting some good performances from some people of late. Let's build off of Beck. Let's build off of Goody. Let's build off of a strong Alan Trejo day and continue to attack and do what we can and show off our abilities and start every time we get Doyle on base, boom, if he's aggressive and he can get in motion and we can start getting more motion on the base paths. I think one of the biggest things from these 2 wins is if the Rockies can start building confidence from this, then they should be a different looking team on the field. The defense should be improved because they should feel more confident in their abilities to make plays and not kind of look like deer at headlights, like lost in some moments there. It should make them feel a little bit more confident going up to the dish when you say, hey, it's been a struggle, but our last 2 wins have come against former Cy Youngs. Guys that know how to pitch, guys that understand how to attack the zone, guys that understand how to take advantage of pitchers with weaknesses like the Rockies have shown. There's plenty of concern still, and just 2 wins doesn't magically wipe away everything that's happened. But we can't sit here and ignore finally some stuff that's bubbling up for this team that starts. It's just now, is it a flash in the pan, or is this something that will be consistent? Can this team consistently put together strong performances, win the 1-run games, win games on the road, and take on the top level pitchers? Only time will tell, but we'll see how the Rockies build off of this and see if they can start building a little bit of momentum here. I mean, it would feel pretty darn good if the Rockies are able to get their 3rd win in a row here and start making a little bit of a winning streak and just kind of really to just start May off by washing away the bad taste of April, the horrendous taste of April. That's a good sign. That's a good spot. I mean, this is another moment here, a prove it moment. How many, like I talk about all the time, but this is another situation here where we can kind of start seeing, it's like, is Beck really here? Is Beck breaking out and establishing himself here as a major leaguer, as a threat ready to go? Is Amador going to be, I know he didn't play last night, but it's just, is he going to be able to, is he going to be someone that can kind of fly a little bit under the radar and then, keeps hitting the ball and then finally hitting the ball and having it land? He's just including, that big fly a couple weeks ago. Can we start getting guys like him going and mixing in? And I mean, Ryan McMahon actually contributing will be huge. There's still a lot to go, but the things that worked, that's what we thought we could expect for most of this season, I thought, in some of these ways. But it's just funny, right? It's funny how baseball works that way. And I'll explain how or what I mean a little bit more coming up next. And I think we got to talk a little bit more about Ryan McMahon and Kyle Freeland making some Rockies history as well. All that and more coming up next on today's episode of Locked on Rockies. Hey, did you know that your TV is also an Xbox? You can turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller. Subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included. I am an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscriber myself. I do love all the offers that Xbox Game Pass has to offer. You can dive into hundreds of premium titles, including EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty, as easily as you stream your favorite shows. Like I said, plenty of titles on there, and it's so cool that you can just sit down, fire it up on your TV, and boom, right there, and it works so well. If games aren't your thing, no worries. You can check out all the apps as well. Everything's in one place. Netflix, YouTube, and beyond, all right there. You don't got to flip-flop and go through all sorts of this, all sorts of that. They got it covered for you there, keeping everything nice and concise right there. And, hey, it's smooth. It's fast. It's 4K. You want that great streaming quality. I know you do. So check out all of the Fire TV Stick 4K devices. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. Locked on Rockies here. A fun Friday. Celebrating. I'm bringing positive today. Some folks a little upset about my negative energy this week as the team was going through a historically bad streak. So today, we are mostly positive. Because the only thing that is, as much as I want to just focus on the exciting and fun and cool parts of winning back-to-back ball games, the novelty of it, I know. As I do think the Rockies need to evaluate Ryan McMahon and where he fits. And I'm not the only one to bring this up. This was from Joel Milholm here on Purple Row as well. I just want to kind of point out some things here. And this is and so they're talking about the possibility of moving on from Ryan McMahon. And I just don't know. I think that one is going to be a really tough situation. I don't think the Rockies are really confident in anyone playing third base and backing up Ryan McMahon and moving on from him. I think Ryan McMahon is a guy that the loyalty has taken over. And I think that Ryan McMahon, as much as he, last year didn't want to get traded, made it clear that he wants to stay with the team. He's established here. I understand that, but it's just, I do wonder if Ryan McMahon, the player, could benefit from the different philosophies, could benefit from a different approach, could benefit from a different environment as a baseball player in terms of his talent and skills on the diamond. I think there might be a team out there that will be able to kind of unlock what makes him so inconsistent and kind of work on the problems that he's had. Because again, it's not just that he had this franchise bad streak. It's not that it was just this cold streak. It's just there's been too many times where the Rockies have looked to Ryan McMahon to be the savior of the offense, savior of something, and it hasn't always worked out. We saw last year in the first half of the season and on the All-Star, before the All-Star game and everything, just how good he can be. It just seems I don't know if it's the Rockies. I don't know if it's just the game of baseball in general. I don't know, but it does seem like there's something that happens to Ryan McMahon throughout the course of a season where it's impossible for him to stay consistent. And I just am not sure how much the Rockies are ready to move on from a guy that I think that they believe so highly in still. But it could certainly be an interesting spot for the Rockies here. I mean, he is under contract here for another 2 seasons. His contract's about to go up $4 million, for the next 2 years on his deal, up to $16 million, up from 12 now. So you do have some questions that you're going to have to start asking here about Ryan McMahon. You can say all this stuff too, right, about moving on. But let's read a little bit from Joel's piece. The 9-year veteran who's been the starting third baseman since the 2019 season where Nolan Arenado left town is leading Major League Baseball in strikeouts, and his 147 average is the third worst in the league among qualified players. He was hitless in 10-plus games from April 19th to 30th, struck in an 0 for 34 stump that's been painful to watch. During the stretch, he struck out 14 times, but thankfully walked 9 times and at least scored 3 runs. Going back even further, McMahon had as many hits as the Rockies have wins, which is 2 in his last 17 games in April, and 58 at-bats. McMahon had 1 single, 1 double, 13 walks, and 28 strikeouts. That equated to slashing 34. 0-3-4, 211, 0-52. Since jettisoning a homegrown player is unlikely with the Rockies front office being infamous for clinging to players long past their peaks, a more realistic change would be at least drop Ryan McMahon in the lineup. And this is probably what needs to happen. We can't sit here and continue to force feed the 4-spot, 3-hole Ryan McMahon in the middle of the lineup. It just hasn't worked out. And it's deeper than just Ryan McMahon as the problem there. The offense isn't good enough to be able to have a Ryan McMahon, dip into the lower half of the lineup. But it's clear in those situations that's not the best. That is not the place to be most effective. And we can't continue to have a guy that goes 0 for 30 up with runners in scoring position, striking out in that time he's not alone in leaving runners on, but when we've looked to Ryan McMahon to be the big piece of this offense right now and be the big part of this offense in really as throughout his career, just hasn't panned out that way. And I think that a change in terms of the lineup, in terms of where he's at, is not only what should, but what will be necessary here. You're going to have to eventually reward the hot hand of the young of the Becks and the Goodmans if they're able to keep it consistent. They're the ones that are putting the ball in play and are putting us in a position to drive in runs. Why I think part of the reason I think Brenton Doyle is going to, kind of have a roller coaster of a season this year is because he has to deal with the leadoff spot. I think Brenton Doyle is a little bit better when he can have someone to hit in or hit around and build around them. I think McMahon's a classic case of a guy that's better when better bats are in the lineup. There's just, I just don't think we can sit here and hitch our horse to the Ryan McMahon wagon and think that that's still our best bet, our best option for everything here for the Rockies in terms of the lineup. Here's a little bit more from Joel here. McMahon was bumped to fifth in Thursday night's game against the Giants, and he broke his hitless streak by hitting a solo homer, his third of the season. While the move took longer than it should have, at least it was a good move, and it produced results. It's great to see McMahon break his 0 for streak, but he still doesn't deserve to be in the top 7 of the lineup. He can't be there because he was an all-star last year or because Bud Black likes him or because he deserves it. No one deserves their spot. They have to earn it continuously. Until he can earn it back, which takes more than a homer, McMahon should drop down even more. That is a great line. That's a great point, and that should be the mentality for everybody on the Rockies. It doesn't matter if you're Chris Bryant, Ryan McMahon. It doesn't matter if you've been here for 9 years or 1 month. You have to earn your spot, because that's what some of these guys on the field, that's what Jordan Beck is saying. Jordan Beck is saying, hey, I got called down already. I already know what can happen here. I'm here to earn my spot. And that, I think, needs to be something that puts a little bit more. That should be something that the front office and Buddy Black should start doing a little bit more. You need to start getting a little back to that classic mentality right there of saying, earn it, show it, prove it, demonstrate it. And again, Max had some big defense. He's got the walks. He had the big home run yesterday. He knows that. I think if you were to go, I think Ryan McMahon as a competitor knows where he's been at. And I don't think when you come up there and you hit him with the challenge of do it again, be consistent, be a great ball player, earn it. I don't think that's outlandish for him. I don't think by challenging your veteran, really in all intents and purposes, you're quote unquote, I know it's not actually, but Ryan McMahon is kind of in a way the captain there, longtime veteran, guy that's been there, plays a lot of games, all-star, XYZ. But man, did I really, really like that line there. Earn it. Everything about the Rockies right now should be about earning it. Back-to-back wins doesn't wash away everything. 1 home run doesn't wash away everything. The path is still very long and very treacherous. So go out and earn it. Love that line right there. All right, let's take a quick break here, and we'll just wrap it up with shout-outs to Kyle Freeland and just kind of reflecting again on the funniness, the hilarity of how the Rockies were able to put together back-to-back wins. We'll do that coming up next. This is the Locked On Rockies podcast for free and streaming on your favorite streaming services, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team every day. And if your team's the Colorado Rockies, you're in the right spot. That's what we do. That's what we're doing around here each and every day, free and streaming on them favorite streaming services. So I keep bringing about how funny it is. And again, it's just the fact that the Rockies got back-to-back wins against big names, right? There's just no way that on paper you'd sit there and say they're going to win those games. Those are going to be the 2 games they win back-to-back. Hopefully what it works out is it's not just fun. It's not, I guess it doesn't just stay funny like that or unique or random or something like that. I hope that these 2 games are a catalyst for better baseball and just a better stretch. Again, it's not like they're going to go win 20 games in a row now and completely flip the, change the script on the season and get themselves back into, some sort of contention at all. But just a better month. Close series, hard-fought series, steal a couple series, win a couple series, split a couple series. Maybe all it took was to just get out there and show yourself so you could do it, and not only do it, but do it against some good arms as well. Not only take down Verlander, but get after a good bullpen in San Francisco. I mean, a lot of streaks got snapped last night, like we talked about, and that's a good thing for the Colorado Rockies. That that meant the part of the mental block, part of the mental fog and mental funk of the Rockies that's been happening, that's the type, these 2-game stretches are the way to start shaking that up, are the ways to start building off of it. Now, still a 3-game set in San Francisco where where it's never been easy to play. But if you're breaking your streaks, at least the streaks are ending, right? The streaks are ending. Now you can't let them start up again. It's avoid that long, painful stretch. Something the Rockies have really, really struggled with for years, honestly, at this point. Way deeper than just one team, one version of it. Before we wrap it up, I got to give a shout out to now the most starts in franchise history belongs to Kyle Freeland. Again, say what you will, say what you want. Always a Kyle Freeland guy. 110%. I think Kyle Freeland is still continues to be one of my not only favorite Rockies on the team now, but favorite Rockies in general. It is very cool to have a guy like Kyle Freeland on your team. It's very special to have a hometown talent to continue to do these things. And again, you can sit there and bring up a bunch of stuff, and you might not be a huge Kyle Freeland fan, but Kyle Freeland has played and done tremendous work for the Colorado Rockies for nearly a decade. Hasn't quite reached it there. And yes, again, when you're looking at so far this season and last season, finishes last year, the first time he's, actually second time with no or negative WAR. He had negative WAR back in 19. Last year, he finished at a straight 0-0 there as well. But he's someone that I just think he's just the right type of guy to look at, and I don't know, he's just my guy. I've done the Kyle Freeland episode before. I've done plenty of that, so I don't need to rehash everything about how much that I like and I appreciate what he's been doing for the club here. But I think having a guy like Kyle Freeland in your rotation, especially as you go through this, is another positive for the Rockies, because I think more often than not, Kyle Freeland keeps you in a game, gives you a chance to win, keeps things close. Yes, things have blown up in his face. He's had bad starts. Things have gotten bad. But a lot of times, Kyle Freeland has also been incredibly unlucky. Had bad breaks and bad bounces here. And what I appreciate is you can tell he's got we know he's an energy guy. He's got frustrations and he's got emotions. We've seen it on the field. We've seen stuff. But it's never gotten to a point where he just is he's never lost the bigger picture focus. He's never lost, I think, his identity of I am a Colorado Rockies pitcher. I believe in the team. I believe in the club. I believe in where I'm at, and I believe in this community. Getting involved, doing lots of great stuff off the field. There's a lot of people that, and as much as we fault the hyper loyalty and the ultra loyalty of people within the organization, but again, this is a guy that he's never made a fuss. He's never made a big deal out of things. And he's really, and what he's done is he's challenged himself and others to get better. And again, I know he's not the greatest pitcher ever. And I know last year impacted my 18 WAR Kyle Freeland take. He's still at 17.7 on the career. Still pretty darn good. I just think it's really important. And I think Kyle Freeland is the right type of guy to have in the locker room, to work with these young guys, to be, to talk with these bullpen arms, to keep working with Feltner and to keep working with, Chase and all that stuff. I mean, for Chase Dollander to be able to go and talk to Kyle Freeland, I think it's invaluable. To have a guy that's been pitching it for 9 years at Coors Field and for most of that time be a successful pitcher, an impactful pitcher, be a pitcher that helps the Rockies win ball games. So, Rockies going for their 3rd win in a row against San Francisco tonight. We'll see how it all shakes out. We'll be back in action, breaking all things down Rockies on Monday, so don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for making Locked On Rockies your first listen of the day. For your second listen of the day, go check out Locked On MLB with our pal Sully, or, oh my goodness, the sports are sporting in Colorado right now. Good Lord, we got double Game 7s coming up this weekend. All while the Rockies trying to put a streak together as well. Check it all out. Locked On Broncos, Avalanche, Nuggets, and Buffs, all free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. And until next time, folks, this is Paul Holden saying so long from the Locked On Rockies podcast.